during our consulting, you mentioned tectonic shifts several times, and you shared a lot of insight with me on what these tectonic shifts are, what that even means, etc. So, and I really want you to share this insight with our audience. So would you mind talk about these tectonic shifts?
Sure. So over my career, I've been blessed to be part of some really fun home runs. And there was a point in my career where I looked back and all of these home runs were doing something different. Like a lot of people, they figure one thing out and then they do it over and over again. But when I looked at my home runs, they were all different. And I tried to find what the common denominator was that made each of these home runs successful to make it easier for me to replicate. And I realized with the help of a very smart person that every single one of my home runs was from a tectonic shift. There was something that was fundamentally changing in the business landscape, and I leveraged that. And that leveraging that tectonic shift propelled the growth. So when I use the term tectonic shift, think about geology and think about these tectonic plates that move against each other. And where that movement happens, you have massive destruction like volcanic eruptions or earthquakes. But you also can have massive growth like mountain formation. And the same thing happens in business. Think about the tectonic shifts, Byron, that you and I have been through, right? Think of the shift from Blockbuster to Netflix, or the shift from Yellow Pages to search engines. Think of the shift from printed newspapers to digital newspapers, or the shift from bricks and mortar retailers to online retailers. Think of the shift from landline phone lines to mobile phones, or from taxis to Ubers, right? We've been through so many of these tectonic shifts. And I think the best strategy, if someone's starting a business or if someone's wanting to grow their business and find a new strategy for growth, I think the best place to start is to say, what are the biggest tectonic shifts that are transforming my business landscape? And then how do I leverage those? And I think that's so important because the small business, they're always afraid to compete with the big business. They always feel that the big business has this huge advantage. They have so many more resources. They have larger teams, larger offices, more brand recognition. And they think they can't compete against the big business. But almost without fail, the big business cannot effectively leverage the tectonic shift. And if you look at every one of those examples that I gave you, they're examples of a small company that leveraged a tectonic shift, and they leapfrogged the big company that they had no business beating, but they only won because they leveraged the tectonic shift. So I think the most important thing that business leaders can do when they're trying to determine their strategy is to identify the biggest tectonic shifts today.